What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So I just left the gym and we're about to do another moment that gets me hyped. If you're on your way to the gym, if you're on your way to go to work, you're about to get a hard day's in. If you need something to get you hyped, you need to get in the mood to get hyped, this message is for you. So today's moment that gets me hyped comes from the show Daredevil, and it is a speech, a monologue by Kingpin toward the end of it. Now, this is going to be, of course, a spoiler because it's going to be the last episode of the first season. If you don't like spoilers, if you want to see it without the spoilers, stop the video here, go watch it, come back. So without further ado, the moment that gets me hyped, Kingpin's been captured. He's inside the police transport. They're on their way to take him to jail. And he has two guards back there, and he starts talking. And he says, I've never been a religious man, but over the time I've read bits and pieces of the Bible, and bits and pieces have caught me. And he talks about the story inside of Luke 10 and 30 through 37, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I'm paraphrasing, but all of you Bible scholars can correct me. And it's about the story of a Good Samaritan. So he goes on to tell the story of a Good Samaritan, how there was a man who was traveling along the road, and he was beat and bloody and beaten to all the way to the point of death. And he was left there by robbers and bandits. And a couple of religious entities, people in the religious realm, they passed him by. They saw him and they left him there. And a Samaritan man was on his way to Samaria, to the city, and he saw the man and he stopped. And he helped the man, and he didn't think about how it would hinder him, how much money it would cost him, or how it would be self-deprecating to the man. That's why it's called a Good Samaritan, right? That's where we get the word from. And he stopped and he helped the man, and he bandaged his wound, and he took him to the inn, and he gave some money to do it. And Kingpin goes on after he tells his story. He says, it's funny how even the best of men can be fooled by their true nature. And one of the guards says, well, what the hell does that mean? He says, because I have realized, I always thought that I was the Samaritan who stopped and helped the man, but I've realized I'm not the Samaritan, and I'm not the guy who got beat up, and I'm not the Levite or any of the other religious entities that passed him by. I'm the evil intention that visited upon the man upon a road he should have never traveled. And then all hell breaks loose after that, right? They start breaking Kingpin out of prison, and out of the transport and all of that. Now, the reason this is a moment that gets me hyped is for a couple of reasons, right? One, this is a guy who just accepted that, hey, I realize who I am, right? Before Thanos, before we had all of these, I think Bane was actually before him, but on the same tier of these villains that are just no, I'm bad, and I'm about to be worse. He just accepted that. But it's not only that it gets me hyped because he's like, you know what? You want it bad, gonna get here now. It's also the fact that how many people that I realize are confused in this world about who they are. While this was a negative scene, there really was a positive that came from that message. Because at the end of the day, there are people all around who are going to try to convince you of what their definition of happiness should be. What your definition of happiness should be. Try to tell you that you should want this, you should want that, you should believe in this, you should believe in that. Until you step out on your own too and say, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is who I realize where I'm at and where I need to be, you're going to have a hard time in life, right? So that's why it's one of the moments that gets me hyped. A lot of times when I'm on my way to the gym, when I'm on my way to work, I'm just honest with myself. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I wish it was one way. I know it's not, but I don't want to do it. But I'm going to do it. And it starts with being honest with yourself. Who are you? What are you capable of? What do you want out of life? What makes you happy, right? Until you can have an honest conversation with yourself, exactly who you are and what you're trying to accomplish, then everything else is for naught. It has to start with you being honest with you. All right, guys, that's the moment that gets me hyped. I need you guys to take care of yourselves. Please, be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.